we are just thankful for this beautiful evening that you've given us. We just are thankful for all the men and women that fight to protect this great country that we live in. We pray for safety for all the drivers, the teams, the crews, and the fans. Just help us enjoy this evening that you've given us. Watch over us, protect us. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome contestant on season 22 of The Voice from Columbus, Ohio, Ian Harrison.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And that'll put the wraps on our pre-race coverage. When we come back, the command of fire engines here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
When we come back, we go green at Nashville Superspeedway. You're listening to the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
After a devastating storm that brings down trees and homes, so many families have nowhere to turn. That's why Samaritan's Purse responds immediately after hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and fires all across the country. Our volunteer teams bring tools and compassion to homeowners who have lost not only possessions, but more importantly, hope. You can help. Join with Samaritan's Purse. Log on to samaritanspurse.org.
Live on the NASCAR Racing Network. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Go boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Today, the Rackley Roofing 200 from Nashville Super Speedway. Brought to you by Craftsman. Runs long, works great, won't slow you down. The Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup, built for the backyard and beyond. See craftsman.com for details. By Straight Talk Wireless, real unlimited data for fans of fast, official partner of NASCAR. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
Welcome back to Nashville Super Speedway, drawing closer to the engines firing and the green flag, of course, coming up.
Well, straight off, probably one of the busiest weeks in his career, Coca-Cola 600 winner Ross Chastain with us here for tonight's Truck Series broadcast. Last week, you finished runner-up at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This week, you race on Saturday, not Friday, but what has your week been like?
Ooh, busy. Caught a 10 a.m. flight Monday morning, never went to bed.
Nice.
Celebrated with some friends and had a great time. A lot of Busch Light was consumed and just soaked it in and stayed up and we definitely still have the ring on to prove it. So from there, a trip to Milwaukee and back, and just really tried to enjoy that time with the Moose Lodge, and then back Tuesday night to get back to work for Wednesday, and then came over here Wednesday night.
Man, there's so much that goes in to winning the 600, right? But the bling, what do you think of the bling? That's pretty sporty ring right there.
I love it. I got to tell you, I've got a ring from our first win in Cup. I've got our first Xfinity win at Daytona with Colleague Racing, and now this one says champion. And you just don't hear that very often for single races. And so they handed it to me, upstairs. Marcus did in the club way up top. So that was really neat with some watermelon champagne. It was awesome.
That was awesome. What a night. And look, you're coming back to a racetrack where 2 years ago you dominated, you won from the pole. This is where the home base of Trackhouse is, even though your cars are built in Concord, North Carolina. So maybe you can do it again with the sweep of the weekend.
Maybe we can, but I got to get back in the racing mindset, and we're doing that now with the Craftsman Truck Series. So I'm excited to watch this race, see how far up these Truck Series drivers can move this groove with the resin applied on the track. I'm ready to watch.
All right, well, let's get ready to go trackside because 32 drivers are set to take the green flag here tonight at Nashville Super Speedway. Before they do that, we got to fire the engines. Let's go trackside here at Nashville Super Speedway for a big night of racing in Middle Tennessee.
And now, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome Chief Operating Officer for Rackley Roofing, Michelle Boykin.
Drivers, start your engine!
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Qualifying rained out earlier today here at Nashville Super Speedway, so the lineup set by the NASCAR rulebook. Rolling off 32nd, Akinora Ogata, the YKK AP America Toyota. The Levrek Ford of Clayton Green will start 31st. Tony Breidinger starts 30th, the 818 Tequila Toyota. Starting 29th, Dawson Sutton, the Rackley Roofing Chevrolet. The Levrek Ford of Tyler Tomasi will roll off 28th. 27th, Frankie Muniz, the Buy American Veteran Ford. Ty Majeski will start 26th, the Curb Records Ford. 25th will be Spencer Boyd, the Southern Pride Chevrolet. The GMS Chevrolet of Nathan Bird rolls off 24th. 23rd will be Chandler Smith in the Wheelers Ford. Jack Wood starts 22nd, the Adaptive One Caliper Chevrolet, and the Place of Hope Toyota of Tanner Gray rolls off 21st.
Then starting 20th in the Napa Night Vision Chevrolet, it's Connor Mozak. To his inside, 19th, Luke Fenhouse, the Soda Sense Ford. The Zevo Menards Ford of Matt Crafton starts 18th. 17th, Gio Ruggiero, the First Auto Group Toyota. The Telcel Chevrolet of Andre Perez de Lara starts 16th. 15th, Ben Rhodes, the Nashville Stampede Ford. Then it's the Sound Gear Toyota of William Sawallich starting 14th. 13th, Stuart Friesen, the Halmar International Toyota. Now moving up to row number 6 on the outside, starting 12th in the Gainbridge Chevrolet, it's Kyle Busch. To his inside, Matt Mills goes off 11th in the JF Electric Chevrolet.
And now the top 10 starters for the Rackley Roofing 200. Rolling off 10th will be Raja Caruth, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. 9th, Jake Garcia, the Quanta Services Ford. Tyler Ankrum starts 8th in the Ulico Chevrolet. The Gates Hydraulic Chevrolet of Daniel Hemrick rolls off 7th. 6th will be Bailey Curry, the Autoventa Precision Chevrolet. Corey Day will start 5th, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Starting 4th will be Grant Enfinger, the Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet. And the Love's RV Stop Ford of Lane Riggs will start 3rd. And now the front row on the outside pole will be Caden Honeycutt, the DQS Mascano Technologies Chevrolet. And on the pole, Corey Heim, the Safe Light Foster Love Toyota.
And that's the starting lineup for the Rackley Roofing 200 at Nashville Superspeedway.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stacking Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Trucks are rolling off pit road here at Nashville Superspeedway. When we come back, we'll be taking the green flag for the Rackley Roofing 200 from Nashville. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing.
And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Welcome back to the Rackley Roofing 200 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Brad Gilley alongside Mark Garrow and Ross Chastain. Let's go down once again to our 2 pit reporters to get our picks, or their picks, who they think will be celebrating in Victory Lane. We'll start at the entrance of pit road in Heather DeBow.
Well, we heard this guy say during driver introductions that this is a Riggs family style driving racetrack. So I'm going to go with Lane Riggs picking up that guitar, the 4th one for the Riggs family. That'll happen tonight in Victory Lane.
How about you, Wendy Venturini?
Well, since Heather left this on the table, I feel like I have to take it because Corey Heim is unstoppable this season in the Truck Series. Coming off that win at Charlotte, I think he's going to make it 2 wins in a row, maybe number 16, leading that lap. As we take the green flag here, it's going to be Corey Heim. Heim time in Nashville.
You know, when Lane was talking about his dad, Scott Riggs, during the pre-race show, it brought back memories of broadcasting races with Scott at South Boston and Pulaski and Rougemont, all these little short tracks. I mean, he was a tough customer back in the day, and was then the Busch Series, now the Xfinity Series. All right, Ross, they made their picks. How about you?
Oh, put me right on the spot here, guys. Give me Caden Honeycutt. I'm a Nice guy through and through. Caden Honeycutt, that 45 team led by Phil Gould, get their first win of Caden's career tonight at Nashville.
3 top 10s in a row right now for Caden.
That would be a good one. All right, we've got one turn announcer helping us call the lap-by-lap play-by-play, and that is our good buddy, Mr. Pat Patterson. What's going on out there, Pat?
Oh, well, first of all, happy race day. That's the first thing. Second thing is, want to wish all those people that build the world's greatest water heater right here in Tennessee, our friends at State Water Heaters, give them a big shout-out tonight because I know some of those folks are in the house. A great racetrack, a concrete racetrack. And our banking is only 14 degrees, and in the front stretch is about 9 degrees, the back stretch about 6 degrees. These guys got to keep these vehicles wound up tonight as we'll be watching them keep their momentum because there's not a lot of banking to hold you up in the corners. And the word edgy, you'll hear that quite a bit from crew chiefs to drivers and drivers to crew chiefs and spotters. Will be your eyes and ears out here all night long. We're looking forward to it, and it is a perfect night to go racing right here in the great state of Tennessee.
We have a back straightaway, but a front stretch that is one big, long left-hand turn. And again, these drivers will have to negotiate that. Their momentum really picking up as they hit turn number 1. Our first stage tonight ends at lap 45, stage 2 at lap 95, and then we go 55 more to 150 laps in the Rackley 200.
Mile and a third, this concrete racetrack. Ross, we talk about concrete. How much of a difference does it make?
A lot, Brad. It's like driving over an overpass on the interstate, and you feel those up and down. You feel the saw marks where they cut it for the joints. And we've got something in turn 4 that looks new. There's a piece of concrete down there from the bottom up to about the middle that's a lighter color. Heard Corey Heim talk earlier in practice about how much rougher it was. So not sure the track work that's been done. I know I'll be looking at it ahead of my practice session tomorrow for Xfinity and Cup with my own feet and eyes out there in the morning. But curious to see if that affects these trucks if anybody gets in trouble off turn 4.
Our pace car driver tonight, Eric Johnson. The NASCAR starter, Rich Keeter, he's about to get busy.
Pat Patterson, what are they looking like up in front of you?
Well, we'll set up those first 3 rows for you. Outside row number 3 is Bailey Curry. Inside, Corey Day. Row 2, Grant Enfinger and Lane Riggs. And up front, leading us to green, Caden Honeycutt and Corey Heim. We're about ready to get it going in the great state of Tennessee.
Here we go. The green flag is out. Corey Heim gets a big jump on the inside with a nice push from Lane Riggs. But don't look now. Caden Honeycutt on the outside. He'll try and challenge Heim as they go to 1.
Caden Honeycutt will go to the outside there. Riggs washes up the racetrack, and it stacks them up behind there. And we got 4 wide trying to hustle down into turn 3 for the very first time. Corey Heim is gone with about a 12-car length lead over second place as they head for 4.
It looks like Raja Karuth has taken over that number 2 spot, but Corey Heim, big surprise, leads lap number 1 across the stripe. It is going to be Caden Honeycutt running in the 3rd spot.
Watching Heim now work himself into turn 1, over to turn number 2. Behind him, Corey Day is only separated by a couple truck lengths, I should say, with Caden Honeycutt. Right behind him is Corey Day, and then you have Lane Riggs as they enter into turn number 3. Caution is on the speedway for the first time tonight.
Hearing fluid is on the racetrack right now, so this will bring out our first caution just after 1 lap under green. And Corey Heim was driving away from Corey Day. Caden Honeycutt running in 3rd. Raja Karuth in 4th. Lane Riggs in 5th. Ross, that looked like a scary moment for Riggs there in 2.
That was, yeah, got up into the side of the 45 truck into turn 1 on the start of the race. They started 2nd and 3rd. Lane followed Corey Heim into the corner, and it definitely overestimated how much grip this track would have into turn 1. Lucky that both of them got away with it.
So what do you do if you're a driver and you're in the middle of the pack and up ahead, maybe a couple of truck lengths, is 4 wide, and you're thinking something's going to happen, but you're stuck in the pack as well? What do you do then?
You try to pick whoever has the momentum. So it does look like that Grant Enfinger and Bailey Curry did have a little bit of contact after Lane was checked up. Caden got through to 3rd, Lane in 5th. So they all did a really good job. I didn't see any tire smoke from anybody where Lane and Caden hit, so looks like they got away with it. And Corey Day and Raja Karuth 2nd and 4th, 2 identical Spire trucks.
All right, let's go down to pit road and Heather DeBow.
And Ross, you're exactly correct. I was just listening to the team communication there. Lane was asking, do I have any tire rubs? And they said, no, I think they only got into the side of you, just a little bit of a donut on the side of the truck there, so no worries for the 34 team at this point.
Hearing Frankie Muniz has 0 oil pressure in his truck right now. That might be a good indicator as to where the oil is coming from or the fluid on the racetrack. The good thing is, Ross, I always wonder when you see a cleanup on an asphalt track. First of all, it looks really cool when you guys drive through all the speedy dry and it goes clouding up into the air. But I always wonder, too, that speedy dry, it picks up the oil. On asphalt, it's one thing. Concrete's another thing. It seems to clean up more thoroughly on concrete. Is that fair to say?
It can. It depends on the application. What kind of powder and granule size are they using, and does it stick into the concrete or the asphalt, whatever surface we are? Tonight's concrete. Does it stick into it, and do they put it down the right spot? We see service trucks beginning to apply it in turn 3. 2 trucks, nose to tail, both putting down strips. So this could be a lot. Nashville Superspeedway could be going through their kitty litter here pretty soon on lap 3.
Well, we're going to take a break under this yellow flag in the Rackley 200. We'll have more in a moment from Nashville Superspeedway.
There will always be more leaves, weeds, and yard debris. And when they show up, tackle yard cleanup with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. Delivering more runtime and better performance, the Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup of outdoor products will help you cut, trim, and blow through whatever your yard throws at you. Your grass, no problem. Overgrown hedges, not anymore. A neighbor who won't stop distracting you with weather talk? Well, you're on your own there. But for everything else, head to Craftsman.com. Craftsman, build on. See Craftsman.com for details.
Looking for weekly motorsports podcasts to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
Caution number 1, we only have 4 laps complete of the Rackley Roofing 200 here at Nashville Superspeedway. A lot of speedy dry is being applied to this racetrack all throughout turns 3 and turn 4. When we come back, we're going to make our first trip through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Today's Restart Zone brought to you by Echo Park Automotive, every car, happy owner. From Nashville Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same. All right, the goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500.
I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
We're back at Nashville Superspeedway under yellow very quickly in the Rackley 200. We had Frankie Muniz. His truck left a lot, and I do mean a lot, of oil down on the racetrack, and they have left a beach worth of sand along the front straightaway, now working their way into turns 1 and 2, and they'll have to clean it up, so that's going to take a bit. We want to remind everybody, coming up on PRN tomorrow, Cup qualifying at 4:30 Eastern Time, the Xfinity Series, Tennessee Lottery 250 at 7 o'clock, and, of course, on Sunday evening, our pre-race show getting underway at 6 o'clock Eastern Time for the Cracker Barrel 400.
A lot of excitement last week in qualifying for the Coca-Cola 600. Somewhat uneventful except for one driver, and he ended up getting a backup car and going to victory lane afterwards. How many times, Ross, have you been told about the last time someone started at the back or started 40th and won a race and all of that? I mean, it's a cool thing to hear because you just did it.
It really is, Brad. I get conflicting reports of who was the last one, because back then there was different number of cars in the field. Maybe Richard Petty in 30th was the was the furthest back, and then there's an engine discrepancy on that one of why he was back there. So, yeah, I'm still a little confused, but I know that we did it, and that's what I care about. But I am curious.
See, Richard Petty, I'm going to go with Richard Petty in 1971 at Richmond. He chose to go to the back. I mean, that's where everybody gets a little bit goofed up. At that point, if you had issues, or you could go and say, look, I'm starting last, and that's what he did.
Did he have to change his engine because there was something wrong with it, like it wouldn't run, or because it was out of tolerance by the rule book? I'm curious, and I don't know.
Well, he started last.
That was his penalty, or that's what he chose to do.
That's what he chose to do. He chose the last place, and the fact is, the record book says he's last, he finished first.
I can solve this. I know the correct answer now. The last driver who had the last place starting position to drive into victory lane was Ross Chastain, May 24th, 2025.
That's right. Reset the rule book, and I don't wish that on anybody, though, because I did start in front, technically on the start of the race, in front of Josh Bilicki, a friend of mine. He did let Kyle Busch and I start in front of him in the 66 car.
The cool thing about it, you didn't out-strategy. You didn't, do some kind of funky thing. I mean, when people say, these next-gen cars, it's so hard to pass, yes. Is it possible? Oh, yeah. We just had a guy prove he can come through the whole pack and actually work his way past the whole pack.
And once I watched the race back, you got to remember, for most of the race, I couldn't even see the leaders. So when I got up there, I actually asked my crew on the radio, what's been going on up here? How have they been restarting? What's happening? And as we were trying to choose inside or outside on the choose, I just chose the bottom to learn it in case I needed it later, because I hadn't been up there watching and learning from visual. So, yeah, it was definitely I learned a lot right there at the end of that race. And pre-race, we wanted 20th by stage 1, 10th by stage 2, then go race. And we got 19th and 7th on those marks, and it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, pretty spectacular. And this week, as I was walking in earlier through the fan zone here, one of the first things I saw was the Ross Chastain souvenir trailer. Like, I'm going to check it every day because I have a feeling that the lines are going to continue to get longer and longer as the weekend goes. And look, you got your own. And after a big win like that, who doesn't want a Busch Light, a Kubota, a jockey T-shirt, whatever it might be?
That's right. And look, I'm going to be out there signing autographs 2:35 to 3:05 on Sunday. So we try to get out there every week. The Cruise In folks do a great job for us on that merch trailer, and I am really proud to have my own. It's not easy for us to keep it stocked and rolling. It takes a big effort, and Cruise In does a great job.
Let's go down now to Heather DeBow.
And as we're watching cleanup here of the fluid that's been dropped on the racetrack, I've been listening to a lot of the teams talking about how they have fluid on their windshields, on their tear-offs. Some of them saying they're seeing it on the tailgate of the truck in front of them. And then spotters and crew chiefs are also talking about, hey, when we get going here, we're a little worried on whether or not you're going to be able to see or if that truck's going to stick. So, Ross, I think you can speak to that. Anytime there's a massive oil drop down on the racetrack, like, what's going through your mind? Are you worried about that at all, or how can you kind of avoid it in a way, even if it's in the racing line?
Yeah, Heather, they put down a lot of speedy dry on the track, and we do still have some sunshine over on the backstretch in turn 3. So turning it to turn 3, if you get oil on your tear off and then the speedy dry sticks to the oil, that's what it's supposed to do. So, yes, that's going to be tough turning into the sunshine, the sunset in turn 3. The rest of the track, it's relatively okay, usually, unless you got a direct hit. And looking at a replay, there is a lot of oil coming out of the back of Frankie's truck. Fortunately, there wasn't too many trucks behind him, but a couple of them behind him would have really been covered. That's gallons of oil, and we do see Frankie down halfway to the garage. They're cleaning the truck now, so we'll see if NASCAR allows him to come back out, if they refill it, if it was just an error or a line came loose and he shut it off in time and didn't blow the motor up or whatever kind of oil, but it does look like engine oil.
So you said gallons. For the fans out there, how much is in there right now? You got an oil cooler and all that going on.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm a driver. I drove in the Truck Series last week. These Ilmore motors, I do not know how many gallons of oil. I drive the truck. I don't assemble them. I see the oil tank. I see the oil cooler, and obviously a lot in the engine in this Ilmore motor. But yeah, not sure. But I'm telling you by that replay, that's gallons.
And every drop that was in that truck is now on the racetrack, down to the last drop.
It's now picked up off the racetrack because we are getting the one-to-go signal as the field is coming out of turn number 4 and coming to the choose here at Nashville Superspeedway. Looks like they did a great job cleaning it up. We're going to find out here on this restart, but they always do. So big faith in the great safety crew and the track crews here at Nashville Superspeedway, most of whom are all local here to the Middle Tennessee area. When you go to a racetrack, a lot of these folks who are working in the rescue teams and with the track cleanup teams are all local, so we certainly appreciate everything that they do. So the choose is happening, and this week, Ross, it looks like the low line is the way to go.
That's right. Corey Heim sets the tone early, choosing the inside on the start. He did that on the start of the race and this first restart. And the first 4 trucks all chose accordingly. Outside second, inside third, outside fourth. Lane Riggs in fifth, the first truck to choose the outside. Remember, he drove into turn 1 and third on the start of the race, washed up into Caden Honeycutt. So clearly he doesn't like the bottom for his truck right now. We'll see if they work on that truck later, get it better to run the bottom.
So the top 5 rows, Corey Heim inside, Corey Day outside. Row 2, Caden Honeycutt inside with Rajah Caruth to his outside. Daniel Hemrick inside of row number 3 with Lane Riggs to his outside. Then Tyler Ankrum, Grant Enfinger in row 4. Bailey Curry along with Jake Garcia in row 5. Then it's Ben Rhodes, Kyle Busch in row number 6, followed by Matt Mills, Gio Ruggiero.
Pat Patterson, we're going to have 10 laps down, 35 to go in stage number 1 when they take the green flag here.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have. The pace car right now with its lights off, fields over in 3 and 4. And once again, Corey Heim is going to be the guy. He's the rabbit. Everybody else is going to try to motor on and try to catch him and run him down here tonight. Field gets their tires scrubbed off. We are about to restart.
Corey Heim leading 31 trucks into the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Green flag is back out as they complete lap 10. Still 35 to go in stage number 1. Heim, along with Corey Day, door to door, head to turn number 1.
Corey Day gets a nice push there from Rajah Caruth, and that shoves him out in front of Corey Heim for just a moment. Here comes the 11 truck, got it wound up down the backstretch. Once again, those 2 Hendrick trucks are going to split it, try to take him 3 wide into the corner. Rajah Caruth and Corey Day go to the front.
Corey Day on the outside of that. He is going to lead lap number 11 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Corey Heim now is running in the second spot. He gets around Rajah Caruth. Also following Heim through is Lane Riggs as they head back into 1.
Yeah, Lane Riggs with a nice move. Now here goes the battle for the lead up front. Corey Day down at the bottom of the racetrack. Heim rolls right around the top. He'll take that spot. Now Lane Riggs will take a look at Corey Day to the inside as they work their way down into turn number 3. Once again, Heim out front and leading.
Kyle Busch running 8th will have to do a pass-through penalty for a restart violation. Meanwhile, here's Heim, Riggs, then you have Corey Day, Rajah Caruth, Caden Honeycutt, top 5 heading to 1.
A little further back as we look at the guys scrambling for position. Caden Honeycutt is in a good battle there with Rajah Caruth. A little bit further back, Daniel Hemrick has got his hands full with Grant Enfinger. Then there's Brennan Poole and Kyle Busch. Here's the leader once again, Heim, headed into 3.
Wow, Caden Honeycutt tried to split the 2 HendrickCars.com trucks of Corey Day and Rajah Caruth. Tried to go in between them. Made a great decision by thinking better of it. He's going to back up behind him. So right now, Caden Honeycutt running in that 5th spot as Corey Heim continues to lead them into 1.
Watching Jake Garcia with his truck side-by-side battle. They're going in with Ben Rhodes to the outside of turn number 2. Meanwhile, the leader by about 6 truck lengths out in front. Corey Heim leads Lane Riggs into 3.
So right now you have the 11th place battle. Garcia, Ruggiero now working their way out of turn 4. Meanwhile, it's a 2-truck breakaway. Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, and then about 7 or 8 car lengths back to Rajah Caruth.
Yeah, long way back there to 3rd. Then behind him, of course, is Corey Day. Corey Day has got about a 4 truck length ahead of Caden Honeycutt. Then it goes back to Daniel Hemrick and to Grant Enfinger once again up front. Separation. Riggs is holding his own there in turn 3.
Kyle Busch served his penalty, was able to stay on the lead lap. He is about a half a straightaway in front of race leader Corey Heim. But Lane Riggs right now bearing down on the rear tailgate of Corey Heim. It's about 4 truck length the difference between the 2 leaders.
Yeah, Lane Riggs trying to look to the outside just a little bit over there in turns 1 and 2. It's a long way back to the 3rd place running of the 71 of Rajah Caruth. Down the backstretch. Once again, Riggs able to kind of hold serve there as Corey Heim enters turn number 3.
So for Kyle Busch, good news, clean air. Good news, tail end of the lead lap. He didn't get lapped. Bad news, he's got Corey Heim, Lane Riggs getting ready to be hot on his tailgate as they head back to 1.
Impressed, though, that Lane Riggs is able to stay right with Corey Heim. In fact, may have closed the distance ever so slightly on the leader. Riggs, once again, looks to the outside. Long way back to Rajah Caruth in that 3rd spot. Down the backstretch they run. Again, the separation only about 3 truck lengths into 3.
When our pit reporters gave their picks just at the beginning of this race, Wendy Venturini took Corey Heim, Heather DeBow took Lane Riggs. They're 1 and 2. Lane Riggs 0.2 of a second off the rear tailgate of Corey Heim. That's going to stay this lap as we now have 28 to go here in stage number 1 at Nashville.
Kyle Busch is really going to have to hustle. He is out in front of these guys after serving that penalty. But Corey Heim is really working his magic down the backstretch here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Riggs only about 7 truck lengths back as they work 3.
Rajah Caruth, the last couple of laps, has been the fastest truck on the racetrack. He is trying to move up and make it a 3-truck battle for the top spot. Way back in the 4th position is Corey Day, Caden Honeycutt, Daniel Hemrick now trying to close in for that battle for 4th.
Yeah, that's a good call, Mark. He really does have a fast truck. I'm talking about Rajah Caruth. Lane Riggs now once again has closed it down to maybe a truck length and a half. Corey Heim looks a little bit vulnerable now as they get into turn number 3. Riggs is there, but can he find a space to go under him?
Corey Heim, it looked like he was going to try and block the lane of Lane Riggs. Riggs now dives down to the bottom. They are door-to-door, battle for the lead with 26 to go. Lane Riggs with the advantage this time by. Pat, is Riggs going to be able to clear Heim into 1?
Heim is really going to have to kind of squeeze him down to the bottom if he can, but Corey can't get his truck down there. That lets Riggs hold that position, and he has the lead. Down the backstretch, new leader, at least for the moment. Lane Riggs out in front of Corey Heim. Here goes Riggs to the bottom of 3.
Now, those 2 trucks had a great last lap. They were able to separate from 3rd place Rajah Caruth. Lane Riggs, the new leader in the Rackley 200 at Nashville Superspeedway. Corey Heim trying to mount a challenge back to the top spot.
Yeah, Corey Day now behind these guys running in 4th right now. He's got Caden Honeycutt right behind him. Honeycutt's going to try to bear down and get that spot. He pulls with about a truck length and a half. Meanwhile, up front, once again, Lane Riggs with a decent separation over Corey Heim into 3.
Here we go. Here goes Caden Honeycutt. Battle for 4th right now. Honeycutt dives to the inside of Corey Day in turn number 3. Corey Day is going to hold him off. He's 1 groove up the racetrack. They're going to battle door to door. Caden Honeycutt now tucks in briefly behind the tailgate. Now he swings to the outside. Caden Honeycutt trying to take away 4th from Corey Day.
Caden Honeycutt might have actually moved Corey Day just ever so slightly there as he got around him. Certainly looked like he took the air off the back of Day's machine. Now Corey Day's got to be careful because behind him, coming pretty fast, is Daniel Hemrick, and he's got a good truck here tonight.
Corey Day looking for a little bit of good news. This is his 6th truck start in 2025. His best finish so far, 15th, which he accomplished at Homestead and Bristol. So we've got 23 laps to go in stage number 1 of the Rackley 200 Craftsman Truck Series race. Lane Riggs, your leader. The rest of our top 5, Corey Heim, Rajah Caruth, Caden Honeycutt, and Corey Day.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Lane Riggs continues to lead, and he's pulling away from Corey Heim. Now enjoys an 0.8 of a second advantage over second place. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. From Nashville Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Lebanon, Tennessee. Nashville Superspeedway, the Rackley Roofing 200. Brad Gilley alongside Ross Chastain and Mark Garrow. If you're just now joining us, Lane Riggs has been able to take the lead from Corey Heim. We are just 27 laps into stage number 1. Rajah Caruth is running third right now. Caruth is up 7 spots since the beginning of the race. Kyle Busch sits on the tail end of the lead lap right now. Kyle Busch had a penalty after our first caution period for a restart violation. The first caution came out on lap number 2. That was when all of the oil, which our director Laura Beth found out, did the math, 16 quarts, 4 gallons of oil, Ross Chastain, and that was laid all the way around by the truck of Frankie Muniz.
Gallons. Best guess for me, just gallons.
Gallons works. It sounds like a lot more.
So right now, Lane Riggs, 1.2 seconds over Corey Heim. Rajah Caruth is third. Caden Honeycutt fourth. Fifth is Corey Day. Daniel Hemrick is sixth with 16 laps to go in stage number 1. Grant Enfinger seventh. Eighth is Bailey Curry. Ninth is Tyler Ankrum. Ben Rhodes in 10th.
Running 11th right now is Jake Garcia. Gio Ruggiero runs in 12th. 13th is William Sawalis. Chandler Smith is 14th. Connor Mozak runs 15th. 16th, Matt Mills. Tanner Gray, 17th. Andre Perez de Lara is 18th. 19th, Luke Fenhouse. Ty Majeski runs 20th.
21st, Dawson Sutton. Stuart Friesen has moved up 9 positions, I guess, now to 22nd spot. 23rd, Matt Crafton. Jack Wood, 24th. 25th is going to be Clayton Green. Then Spencer Boyd in 26th. Kyle Busch now listed in 27th. Nathan Bird 28th. 29th, Tyler Tomasi. Tony Breitinger is in the 30th spot. Akinori Ogato is 31st. The only truck out tonight, Frankie Muniz.
That leaderboard update brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, official partner of NASCAR. Fans of Fast get real unlimited data on reliable 5G with no contracts or hidden fees. Now at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk Wireless. We have 14 laps to go in stage number 1. Let's check in with our pit reporters. We will start at the entrance of pit road and Heather DeBow.
And following along here with our 5th place runner of Corey Day. This is only his 6th Truck Series start so far this season, so a lot to learn for that young driver. And listening to his spotter, Tyler Green, he's really coaching him on his racing line. He told him that in 1 and 2, you're pretty solid. You're actually spot on with the leader. But in 3 and 4, you need to carry more speed on exit. So those are the notes right now coming from the spotter stand for Corey Day. Wendy Venturini.
Well, Lane Riggs got around Corey Heim, and Corey Heim came over the radio and said his truck just does not have the raw speed that he desires or that he has had before in this truck. So right now he's got about a second behind our leader, Lane Riggs. But Corey Heim, expect him when he does hit pit road to make some adjustments to his truck. But obviously you can't fix raw speed in the middle of the race.
Kyle Busch has decided to pick it up just a bit. The leader, Lane Riggs, had closed within 2 seconds of putting him down a lap, as now we have 11 laps to go here in stage number 1. Last lap, Riggs the quickest. Kyle Busch number 2. This lap, Busch ran the 4th fastest lap.
Ross, I'm all about the positive, and for Kyle Busch, is there a benefit to him this early in the race that now he's going to have a better understanding of how to pass a lot of trucks?
Well, he's going to learn. He's working through the trucks on the tail end of the lead lap to keep himself on the lead lap in 26th right now. So he'll get a reset here with 11 laps to go at the end of stage 1. They'll have their first chance to work on this truck in the race. No doubt that Spire Motorsports and that 017 will listen to Kyle. I'm sure he is dissecting the truck in detail. He's not a quiet guy on the radio, and he will explain what he's looking for. A ton of success here at Nashville Superspeedway for Kyle Busch over his career.
Now the leader, Lane Riggs, has just lapped Spencer Boyd, also -1 now. Nathan Bird, Tyler Tomasi, Tony Breitinger, and Akinori Ogado. So he has begun to catch the back of the field, and those guys, of course, back there just hoping to get to the end of stage 1 on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's interesting watching Kyle Busch. Now he's trying to go around Clayton Green. Oh, he tried to go around him on the outside, but Green went there as well. As Kyle passes a truck, Lane Riggs comes in behind about 3 laps later and puts that truck a lap down. But that's what Kyle needs to do. As long as he can stay in front of Lane Riggs, which with 8.5 laps to go, Ross, shouldn't be a problem.
He should, but he's held up again in turn 3. Finally clears that truck with Lane Riggs closing in. Only about 10 truck lengths off turn 4, guys.
Just a little over 1 second now, the gap. Lane Riggs to Kyle Busch on the tail end of the lead lap. They're back in 1.
Lane Riggs works his truck down into turn 1, and he's got a good sizable lead over Corey Heim, who's a good 10 to 12, 15 truck lengths behind him. Riggs is going to have to deal with more lap traffic. Works down the backstretch here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Next up again is Kyle Busch out in front of him. Looks like Kyle Busch is staying away.
Next time across the start-finish line, it'll be 7 laps to go here in stage number 1. Lane Riggs now is trying to get around that truck of Clayton Green. He's about 2 car lengths off the back bumper. Kyle Busch now still comfortably on the tail end of the lead lap.
Green trying to figure out where he needs to get his truck out of the way of the leader. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Hold your line. That's always the rule, and it looks like he'll do that now, and that'll give the leader plenty of room to work his way down the backstretch and around the Clayton Green machine. Here comes, once again, Lane Riggs in turn 3.
Corey Heim able to close in now under 1 second as he was able to make up some ground as Lane Riggs dealt with that lap truck across the stripe. 6 laps left now in stage number 1.
Yeah, Kyle Busch has got to make some moves now because he'll need to get around Matt Crafton and some other guys to stay away from the leader. And, of course, they also are trying to stay away from Lane Riggs as he's off of turn 2, holds that truck out near the wall in the backstretch, and works his way into turn 3. He's going to get held up by these trucks in front. Let's see what Corey Heim can do with it.
Matt Crafton racing on the outside of Jack Wood. They're the 2 trucks on the tail end of the lead lap, along with Kyle Busch. This may hold up Kyle Busch quite a bit. Crafton gets around Jack Wood, but not quite. Kyle Busch, he's going to make it 3 wide into turn number 1.
Kyle Busch's truck got a little tail happy there going into turn 1, had to back out of it just a little bit. Now here comes the leader. That's going to put him in a fight with the leader down the backstretch. Once again, Lane Riggs trying to put Kyle Busch a lap down. Busch fights back on the outside.
So 2 trucks on the tail end of the lead lap. Now make that 3. Kyle Busch momentarily has fought off Lane Riggs. Down to the start-finish line. 4 laps left in stage number 1.
Jack Wood is right in front of Kyle Busch along with Matt Crafton, and that is a rolling chicane for Kyle Busch. He can't do anything with it. He's a set up now for the leader, Lane Riggs. Riggs will try to work to the inside. Once again, gets door-to-door with Kyle Busch, who's fighting to stay on the lead lap. Matt Crafton gives Jack Wood a little bit of a shot into 3.
Kyle Busch right on the outside of Lane Riggs. Riggs with the advantage. Riggs leading the race. Kyle Busch with the penalty on the first caution. He's trying to fight to stay on the lead lap. While all of this is happening, Corey Heim has got back into the lead draft, and we now have 3 to go in stage 1.
Oh, it is on down here in turns 1 and 2 right now. Here goes Riggs once again trying to dispose of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch with a windshield full of the 88 of Matt Crafton. Crafton trying to work his way around Jack Wood. Kyle Busch going down to the bottom of the racetrack so he at least can block that space.
It's crazy that 3 trucks on the tail end of the lead lap holding up Lane Riggs, who's about to be challenged by Corey Heim, and that leaves us 2 laps to go. Again, 5 trucks on a rail head to turn number 1.
And they go into it single file only momentarily. Now Kyle Busch to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to fight off once again the leader, who gets right to his bumper, dives to the inside. Lane Riggs will try to move around the inside of Kyle Busch, Busch is stuck on the outside, and Corey Heim is loving it. He may be able to catch this group. Here comes Riggs.
Kyle Busch nowhere to go. Matt Crafton had backed it way off when he went into turn number 3. That's the line that Kyle Busch is running. Busch still with the nose out in front of Lane Riggs, trying to stay on the lead lap with 1 to go in stage 1, and a battle for the lead now.
Corey Heim right to the bumper of Riggs as they dive into turn number 1. Can't do anything with it. Had a great run, but there was nowhere to go. Now he separates from the leader by about 2 truck lengths. Kyle Busch got a chance to kind of get away from Riggs, who might have been mirror driving just a little bit in that last lap. Here comes the leader once again off 4.
Lane Riggs with the block of Corey Heim allowed Kyle Busch to get away. Busch will stay on the lead lap, but it's Lane Riggs winning stage number 1 of the Rackley Roofing 200. In the second spot is going to be Corey Heim. Way back in the third spot, it's going to be Rajah Caruth. Daniel Hemrick is going to finish 4th. 5th, Caden Honeycutt. Corey Day will finish 6th in stage number 1. Then it's going to be Tyler Ankrum 7th, 8th, Grant Enfinger, Bailey Curry 9th, and Ben Rhodes finishes out the top 10 in stage number 1.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway.
The NASCAR Truck Series Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double-wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Truck Series Network.
Stage number 1 complete here at Nashville Superspeedway. Lane Riggs able to fight off Corey Heim as he was trying to battle to put Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, and Jack Wood a lap down. He was not able to do that, but still picked up the green and white checkered flag. When we come back, we'll have pit stops from Nashville. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered. NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Kyle Rickey. Join Chris Wilner and I each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We also talk to rising stars from your favorite short track. That's NASCAR Coast to Coast. Watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or your favorite podcast platform.
Time now for our Craftsman Who's Getting It Done. Your yard isn't overgrown, it's just ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details. Mark Garrow, Ross Chastain. Mark, we'll start with you. Who's getting it done?
Hard to argue against Lane Riggs right now. I mean, he went out there and out-muscled the man to beat, it seems, week in and week out, Corey Heim.
With the leaders in that lap traffic, Daniel Hemrick drove from 6th to 4th late in that stage to pass Corey Day, Caden Honeycutt, gaining on the leaders' fastest lap times on the track. I know the leaders were in traffic, but Daniel Hemrick strong into the run. If they get that truck to fire off a little better, maybe he has a shot to lead.
So is that your vote, or is he honorable mention?
Well, he's my Craftsman. Who's
okay, gotcha. All right. So then you get the tie.
I thought I got my own pick.
And he won the Coca-Cola 600, so he wins here. There you go.
We are not worthy.
Hey, both of them are getting it done. It didn't ask for one. It asked for who.
That's right.
And we just found out. Hey, we're about to find out who's going to be getting it done on pit road because it is open. We've got the Ford Mustang Dark Horse pace car in turn number 3 right now. Lane Riggs is going to lead the field onto pit road with Corey Heim, Rajah Caruth, Daniel Hemrick, and Caden Honeycutt all running in the top 5 right now. And there's going to be a lot happening here as they're going to be coming in for 4 tires and fuel. Let's start things off with our own Heather DeBow.
And for Stage 1 winner Lane Riggs, he said that he's just tight at the end of the run and free underneath other trucks. So they're going to make an adjustment there for the 34, 4 tires and fuel. Also in Corey Day, he said he was tight center. And then he said in the rubber especially, but it's hard to miss it. So those are going to be adjustments there for the 7, as well as Kyle Busch. We saw him stay on the lead lap. He said he's turning freer, but trending back to tight and just needs more overall grip. Wendy Venturini.
Corey Heim was passed by Lane Riggs early on. He said he doesn't have the raw speed. He was tight everywhere in his truck. They made an air pressure adjustment. Also on pit road, Rajah Caruth, who's in that 3rd place position when he hit pit road, was a little free in the back of his truck, but he could not stand to be any tighter in the front. Also on pit road, Caden Honeycutt. Right now in that 5th, his biggest complaint was get that tear off from all that oil early on.
So on pit road, Rajah Caruth's pit crew gets him out ahead of everybody else as he moves up 2 positions. Corey Heim 2nd off the pit lane. The leader going on to that pit stop is Lane Riggs. He loses 2 spots. He's 3rd off the pit lane, followed by Caden Honeycutt, Daniel Hemrick, Corey Day, and Bailey Curry.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. When we come back, we'll take the green flag for stage number 2 of the Rackley Roofing 200.
This is a Camry. This is a Camry on NASCAR. This is a Camry on NASCAR with Ty Gibbs behind the wheel. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires, Sonoma Racing Fuel. The face off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
From Nashville Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to mrn.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We're getting ready to start stage number 2 in the Rackley 200 Craftsman Truck Series race. We see that Chandler Smith gave up a top 10 position. He came onto pit road, some damage to the very left rear of that trunk of that pickup truck, and they're working to get some bare bond on there and get buttoned up. The way it was pushed out or bent out or broken away from there in the rear, Ross, that would have definitely been a boat anchor out there catching a lot of wind.
Yes, for sure, Mark. It's what you lean on with these trucks. The side of these trucks are made of steel, sheet metal, and they are rolled in a way and put into a shape like a banana on the right side of the truck. So it definitely is what we rely on as Truck Series drivers, and the 38 team needed to get that fixed now to give Chandler a chance to drive back up through the field.
Already 2 trips to victory lane this year for Chandler Smith, so it's not all for naught, but 32 trucks in this race. He can still drive to the front in the final 2 stages.
Rajah Caruth is our leader at the break. We'll have 42 laps to go in stage number 2 when we get ready to start the stage. Corey Heim second, third is Lane Riggs, fourth Caden Honeycutt, fifth is Daniel Hemrick, Corey Day sixth, seventh Bailey Curry, eighth Tyler Ankrum, Gio Ruggiero ninth, and then 10th Ben Rhodes.
Grant Enfinger runs 11th, William Sawalich is 12th, 13th Connor Mozak, 14th Matt Mills, Ty Majeski is 15th, 16th Stuart Friesen, he started at the back, 17th is Dawson Sutton, 18th Jake Garcia, Andre Perez de Lara 19th, 20th now is Kyle Busch as we go down to Wendy Venturini on pit road.
Yeah, the damage on Chandler Smith's truck was in the right rear quarter panel. It was due to William Sawalich getting into him as he came down pit road, so they brought him down and wanted to put some bear bond on it. Chandler Smith is being very particular if it's been fixed enough as we go back green.
All right, through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone, the pace car is on pit road. Rajah Caruth gets the jump. He's the control truck on the inside of Corey Heim. Connor Mozak behind Caruth, and it looks like Rajah is going to be able to clear Corey Heim as they head off into turns 1 and 2.
Exactly right, Brad Gilly. Rajah Caruth with a nice jump now off of turn 2. About 3 to 4 trucks separate him from the number 11 to Corey Heim. Then there's Caden Honeycutt is right there, and Lane Riggs. That's the way they'll race into turn number 3.
So Rajah working his way out of turn number 4. Again, we're just underway in stage 2 of this Craftsman Truck Series race at Nashville Superspeedway. Caruth now 3 trucks ahead now of second place Corey Heim.
Now he worked their way into turn 1. It's good single file racing all the way back. Grant Enfinger in the middle of a fight back there with a number of other trucks. Connor Mozak is in, but as we watch that front, it is once again Rajah Caruth right up front, and he too looks very strong against Corey Heim in second.
Top 5 bookended by a couple of Spire Hendrick Cars trucks. Rajah Caruth
Trouble,
leads
middle of turn number 3 and 4. Got a truck sideways, turns himself around. Another truck gets into it. Looks like that's Jack Wood. He gets turned around there, and the 63 truck of Orgata also got turned around down there in 3 and 4. Caution is out again here in Nashville.
That'll be the third caution here tonight. Corey Heim was trying to pass Rajah Caruth right as that wreck was happening and the yellow flag came out. Mark, we're going to have to see if Corey Heim was able to get him before the yellow came out and they crossed the timing line. That timing line actually would have been the start-finish line.
So we will see at this point. Corey Heim is trolling around the racetrack behind Rajah Caruth. That would maybe be the indication that Caruth is still leading this race. We'll take a quick break, come right back to Lebanon, Tennessee.
There will always be more leaves, weeds, and yard debris. And when they show up, tackle yard cleanup with the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP Outdoor lineup. Delivering more runtime and better performance, the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP lineup of outdoor products will help you cut, trim, and blow through whatever your yard throws at you. Your grass, no problem. Overgrown hedges, not anymore. A neighbor who won't stop distracting you with weather talk? Well, you're on your own there. But for everything else, head to Craftsman.com. Craftsman. Build on. See Craftsman.com for details.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Working our third caution, we're here in stage number 2 of the Rackley Roofing 200 at Nashville Superspeedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
After a devastating storm that brings down trees and homes, so many families have nowhere to turn. That's why Samaritan's Purse responds immediately after hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and fires all across the country. Our volunteer teams bring tools and compassion to homeowners who have lost not only possessions, but more importantly, hope. You can help. Join with Samaritan's Purse. Log on to samaritanspurse.org.
Back here at Nashville Superspeedway, third caution as we just opened up stage 2. Multi-truck incident there in turns 3 and 4. Pit road is open, but it looks like the leaders are going to bypass it. They don't need to take on any fresh sets of Goodyear tires or Sunoco fuel right at the moment. And we'll take this one, we'll see if we take this one under green or if we have any more action on the racetrack. Ross, restarts. I know there's a lot going on here, and I know that's also a great opportunity. What opportunity are you seeing here on this track this weekend?
Yeah, well, definitely some stack-ups towards the back. We noted Chandler Smith fixing that right rear damage on the last caution, then gets nose damage on the restart. They're back in fixing, working on several corners of that truck. Up front, though, for the last choose, Rajah Caruth, the leader, chose the inside. Corey Heim took the outside. Lane Riggs, I almost said Scott Riggs. Scott's son Lane, third in line to choose on the previous restart, chose outside second row, giving Caden Honeycutt the inside. Caden cleared him off turn 2, so as much as Lane doesn't like the inside, the launch that the leader gets, even if your truck handles worse in the corner, sometimes you get enough track position moving forward by following that leader that you're able to make up for that, what your truck's going to handle worse. Somebody that lost on that restart, and I didn't see exactly how it happened, was Daniel Hemrick. He's been getting great restarts, pushing every truck in front of him on every launch. He pushed Caden Honeycutt on the last one from the 5th position, back in 8th now as we roll around under caution.
So what did you think of the restart? Rajah went very late in the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Sometimes drivers, as soon as they hit it, they're gone. He went very, very late. That seemed to give him a little bit of an edge.
He did, and he had no help from the 45 of Caden Honeycutt the whole length of the front stretch. Let's go down to Wendy Venturini.
And Rajah on this last caution said he was very loose on that restart, so you guys were seeing it from up top. I'm hearing it from the radio communication. He did not like that restart either.
So here we go. Rajah Caruth inside of row 1. Corey Heim outside. Caden Honeycutt inside of row number 2, right beside Lane Riggs. Bailey Curry, Corey Day, row 3. Daniel Hemrick inside of row 4, right beside Tyler Ankrum. Gio Ruggiero inside of row number 5, outside Grant Enfinger. The next row, William Sawalich, Connor Mozak, Jake Garcia, Ben Rhodes, and then Stuart Friesen in row number 8 to the inside of Dawson Sutton.
We're going to restart with 35 laps to go here in stage number 2. That's going to take us to lap 95 of this 150-lap race that makes up the Rackley Roofing 200. Pat Patterson, Rajah Caruth showed Corey Heim his hand on that last restart. The question is, how many more cards do you think he has to play on this one?
I think Rajah is a pretty good restarter, period. I've seen him up front right a number of times, and not just in this race, but in other races, and he gets it done up there. He knows what he's doing up there in the front, too. We'll see if Heim can read what it is that Rajah is getting ready to deliver right now.
As they move into the Echo Park Automotive restart zone, Rajah Caruth this time on the gas. His car, a big wiggle, and it looks like Corey Heim grabbed
the 99 of Ben Rhodes and the 98 of Tom Majeski. Meanwhile, up front, no change. Here comes Corey Heim back to the stripe.
Corey Heim continues to lead Rajah Caruth and Lane Riggs. And Ross, I'm really curious. Lane Riggs seemed to show a lot of speed on the restart, but really now had to settle in. We talk a lot of time about heating up tires and how you have to back off a little bit. Does concrete react differently than asphalt does to something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And these Goodyear Eagles, they don't like you sliding them. So Corey Heim puts himself back out in front with a strong truck, and his tires have clean air. He's got a half a track in front of him to use the air however he wants. And as you go back every position, you just have less downforce. You have less grip on the truck. So for Lane Riggs now in third after leading 30 laps earlier in the race, now he's got two trucks in front of him, and now it will be tougher. He's still matching their lap times, him and Corey Heim this lap, within 2 1/1000ths of a second, as he's about 1.5 seconds behind him.
Right now for Rajah Caruth, this is kind of a typical performance in 2025. He came into the race leading 125 laps. That's the most of anybody who hasn't gone to victory lane yet. 5 top 10s the last 7 races. He's been good. They're just trying to find that little extra to get him over the hump.
That's right, and before that last caution, we saw him leading the race, but right as the caution came out off turn 4, we saw Corey Heim, actually get to his outside and be right up there next to him. The timing lines did keep Rajah in the lead, but a big moment on the restart, the early laps for that 71 truck. So he will learn from that. I'm sure he reported to his team what he needs to fire off better, because it did not look pretty in 3 and 4 early in the run. Now looks a lot better, matching lap times with Corey Heim, just 0.7 of a second behind him.
23 laps to go here in the Rackley Roofing 200 in stage number 2.
So I just switched to Straight Talk Wireless.
Uh-oh, we just ran out of gas.
Great, gives us time to watch the race.
You know the next town is 50 miles away, right?
Don't worry, I have real unlimited data now.
But how are we going to get out of here?
We got about 200 laps before we need to figure that out.
Get a free 5G phone with select plans and real unlimited data only for a limited time at Straight Talk. Available at your local Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk is an official partner of NASCAR. Taxes and fees apply. Require single line activation on the qualifying plan for network management practices with straighttalk.com. Copyright 2025 Verizon. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Lane Riggs closing in on Rajah Caruth. When we come back, we might have a fight for second here in the Rackley Roofing 200. From Nashville Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing. And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
As we come back to Nashville Superspeedway with 18 laps to go in Stage 2, the battle for second place heating up in Turn 2.
Oh, it's a good one here. Lane Riggs trying to get around Rajah Caruth. They're going to run up on a couple of lap trucks. but Riggs is going to take that spot back. We'll see if Rajah can do anything down into turn 3, kind of tighten that up a little bit, but Riggs now has his eyes set on the leader, Corey Heim.
All of this happening 1 second behind the race leader, Corey Heim, who is now crossing the start-finish line. 17 laps to go here in stage number 2. Lane Riggs has taken over the second spot from Rajah Caruth. Caden Honeycutt has settled into 4th. Corey Day has settled into 5th. And Mark, that top 5 is completely broken away from the next spot. Grant Enfinger runs in 6th. He is about 3.5 seconds behind 5th place Corey Day.
Yeah, you have to look a while far, even back behind Enfinger. You've got the Bailey Curry machine. Then you've got to go all the way back to Daniel Hemrick. He and Jake Garcia having a pretty good battle as they work their way into turn number 3. Now, as Garcia tries to close in, Hemrick gains a bit of an advantage coming out of turn 4.
Watching those trucks battle at the very bottom of the racetrack now, trying to pick it up and also trying to run down a little bit closer to the leader. They're down past the stripe.
As we continue to race here at Nashville Superspeedway, Corey Heim is dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. Looks like that's Akinora Ogata right in front of him. I don't think it's going to make a difference as to whether or not Lane Riggs can catch him. And at this point, Ross Chastain, we're going to have 15 laps to go here in stage number 2. For Corey Heim with a 1.3 second advantage, how much does he just have to manage that lead versus maybe trying to pull away?
Absolutely, yes. Manage it. A lot less excitement up front with Kyle Busch earlier trying to stay on the lead lap in that fight that Lane Riggs had. Corey Heim does work at the bottom of the lap trucks into turn 3. A little tight for him, but gets through. It does allow Lane Riggs to close to within about 15 truck lengths off turn 4.
He, though, has to run that gauntlet right now of those 2 lap trucks as they move by the start-finish line. Your leader, Corey Heim, to 1 with 14 to go in stage 2.
Heim doing a nice job of working that lap traffic at this point. Now it's Lane Riggs' turn. He'll try to work underneath a couple of slower trucks. That's the Nathan Bird truck. He's up there with Akinora Argata as well. He's going to have to try to work his way around that, and he's really getting sailed up by these trucks right now as Heim is getting a lot more of an advantage.
As Lane Riggs gets held up by some of this lap traffic here, Tyler Tomasi is the next one in line. That's actually allowed Rajah Caruth to catch up to his tailgate as well. The difference between the two, about 3 truck lengths as they head back to 1.
Riggs is going to swing way out around Tomasi's truck. He'll make that pass now. Rajah Caruth also will have the door open for him. Rajah was still in a big fight for that second spot there. He's got to catch back up to Riggs. Here's the leader into turn 3 and 4.
Right now we have 27 trucks on the lead lap. The last couple of trucks at the tail end. Clayton Green, Spencer Boyd, just in front of them. Surprisingly, Matt Crafton, a 3-time champion.
Yeah, Crafton doing a nice job in the position he's in, but he certainly needs to pick up his pace here tonight as he rolls around in the top group off of turn number 2. Here's the leader once again down the backstretch and heading into 3.
Interesting what's happening in this race. We talk about Stuart Friesen early on. He actually had to drop to the back. He had engine issues. They had to make a change before this started. Friesen has moved up 17 spots, but he's almost stalled out right now in 14th. I was trying to track the progress of Kyle Busch. Again, he's been very strong. Won every truck race that he's run here at Nashville Superspeedway, although the last one, as Heather DeBow had pointed out to him in our pre-race coverage, was 14 years ago. Kyle Busch on the restart, Ross, had gotten up to 14th, but now he's dropped back to 17th. That truck is just simply not handling for him.
It's not, and he's racing with his teammate. So for Andres Perez in the 77 truck in 16th place, right ahead of Kyle Busch, Andres is learning a lot. Kyle's racing around him. I think he was ahead of him. Andres has gotten back by him. So definitely not what Kyle Busch is looking for, but for a guy like Andres, he's learning. This is his first time coming to a lot of these places, and when you look at it, you have to look at what are your teammates doing. Obviously, Rajah Caruth, Corey Day running up in the top 5, but other Spire trucks running right around Andres. So definitely, I know Andres personally. He's learning a lot, and this is a lot to throw at somebody. I remember the days I spent a long time ago, back in 2012, 2011, 2013, where you're coming to all these places for the first time. You're with a good team for Andres. I was with relatively good teams, and you're expected to be up to speed. And if you're running with Kyle Busch, I'd say you're doing okay. You need to make both trucks better from the team side.
You expect Kyle Busch to be battling with Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, Rajah Caruth, and Caden Honeycutt. Now he's back there with Connor Mozak, Tanner Gray, Chandler Smith, William Sawalich. Those are just trucks that you figure he'd be long gone moving towards the front.
You would expect it, but for Spire Motorsports, Jeff Dickerson, the ownership group at Spire, they want their trucks to be better, right? When they came into this series, it was through the KBM acquisition, and they want to get back to where that is. And when you look at the way Raja's running, Corey Day, and only, his 6th start running in the top 5, that's not fair to be that fast right off the bat. But they want Kyle Busch in these races, and that's why you see Jeff Dickerson continue to go get talent and put in these trucks. Figuring out the funding on the other side and putting the talent in, Kyle Busch will make their trucks better by being in them.
Pat Patterson, we got a battle midway down the back straightaway. This is between McAnally, Hilgeman teammates. Right now, Tyler Ankram's in 8th. Daniel Hemrick's in 9th as they battle into 4.
Yeah, they work their way off of 4 right now. And once again, Hemrick with his hands full there with Tyler Ankram, only about a half a truck off of him now as they cross the stripe and they head to turn 1. Hemrick trying to hold on to his teammate as they work their way into turn number 1 and 2. That battle rages on.
This happening 7 laps from the end of stage number 2. A great turn 2, it looked like, for Ankram. Hemrick lost some ground, but he's making it back up as they dive into turn 3. Here's Hemrick taking a look to the inside.
He goes to the inside now of Ankram. Ankram moves a little bit further out, little tail happy with his truck. Hemrick may be able to take advantage now as they work past the start-finish line. They're going to be side by side and door to door, as we like to say, into turn number 1. Now, midway through 1, they stay locked together, headed to the backstretch.
Up in front of them now, heading into turn number 3, Caden Honeycutt is running in the 4th spot. Corey Day is running in 5th. Corey Day has caught the tailgate of Caden Honeycutt, Pat, as they hit the start-finish line with 5 to go in stage 2.
Yeah, Honeycutt doing a nice job here, but Corey Day's got actually a nice run going here tonight. He's had his problems, as you guys noted earlier. Right now, he's trying to hold serve and hold on to Caden Honeycutt as they work their way down the backstretch.
Your leader, Corey Heim, has a lead of 2.3 seconds over Lane Riggs, 4.1 over third place Raja Karuth. Here's Heim across the stripe. 4 laps left now in stage number 2 as he heads back to 1.
Corey Heim got it all to himself right now out there in 1 and 2. It's a long way back to Lane Riggs. Riggs and Heim both putting Matt Crafton a lap down there. Raja Karuth is still holding on in that 3rd position right now as they work down the backstretch here into turn number 3.
As Corey Heim now heads into turn number 4, he's going to hit the front straightaway, and when he hits the start-finish line, it's going to be 3 laps to go here in stage number 2. Again, extending that lead over 2nd place running Lane Riggs, 3rd place running Raja Karuth, but that battle still goes on between Caden Honeycutt and Corey Day. Caden Honeycutt now adding a couple of truck lengths over Corey Day.
As they work the leader now, once again, working his way down the backstretch. Corey Heim, whatever he didn't have in the first stage of this race, he has certainly gotten in this 2nd stage. As he again stretches things out off of turn 4, he'll come back around here, and he's just a lap or so away from another stage win.
52 laps and counting. Laps led for Corey Heim. He's now gone over 800 on the season. He's back in turn number 1.
Corey Heim now, no real traffic in front of him to worry about as he'll work his way off of turn number 2. In front of him right now is the number 42 of Matt Mills. They'll work their way down into turn 3. Once again, Heim about the middle lane of the racetrack in 3 and 4 off of turn number 4.
Already a 4-time winner in 2025. Now what Corey Heim wants to do is continue to stack those playoff points. He is 1 lap away from the end of stage number 2 and an extra bonus point.
Once again, the only truck in front of him at this point is Matt Mills in terms of trucks that he could put another lap down as they work off of turn number 2 down the backstretch here on a perfect night at the Nashville Super Speedway. Here comes Corey Heim into turn at number 3, takes the 11. He's beginning to like more of the middle of that 14 degrees banking now off of turn 4.
Matt Mills running 24th, the last truck on the lead lap. He'll stay there as Corey Heim takes the green and white checkered flag. He wins stage number 2 in the Rackley Roofing 200. Stage win number 9 in 2025 for Corey Heim. It is going to be Lane Riggs finishing 2nd in stage 2. Raja Karuth 3rd. 4th, Corey Day. 5th, Caden Honeycutt. Grant Enfinger winds up 6th. 7th, Bailey Curry. Daniel Hemrick 8th. 9th, Jake Garcia. And moving up to 10th on that final lap of stage number 2, Dawson Sutton is going to get that final spot as we'll take a break and come right back to Nashville Super Speedway.
Hi, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
It's my responsibility as a driver to leave the sport in a better place than it was when I got here. And certainly sometimes it comes with controversial takes.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
They bang sideways at the line. Photo finish.
And in-depth breakdowns of the latest NASCAR news and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
These trucks are thirsty here at the end of stage number 2. When we come back, we'll have pit stops. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. From Nashville Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same. All right, the goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500.
I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Pit road's still closed right now. Time for our Craftsman Who's Getting It Done. Your yard isn't overgrown. It's just ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See Craftsman.com for details. Ross Chastain will defer to you first on this one. Who's getting it done?
For the first pick here from the booth for the Craftsman Who's Getting It Done, I'll go with Rajah Caruth. It's easy to pick those front guys. Rajah leading the charge for Team Chevy in third, keeping himself in position. See what his pit crew does. We saw them pick him up a spot on the last caution. See if he can have clean air, make another adjustment to that 71 truck.
I'm going with a guy we've talked about a little, Grant Enfinger. Finished 6th in stage number 2. He scored the 7th most amount of points in this race early on. He's had 3 top 10s in a row, top 10 for the last 5 races. Looks like he's getting it done again tonight in Nashville.
If I may offer one, the Sutton family has spent a lot of time racing in Nashville, mostly at the Fairgrounds Speedway. Dawson Sutton in the Rackley Roofing number 26 Chevrolet has moved up 17 spots since the start of this race. He finished stage 2 in the top 10. Not bad for a home track. Now, we'll see what happens when they come off of pit road and how the field lines up. We're going to send it down to our pit reporters as we are going to have another round of pit stops before heading into the final stage. Heather DeBow is working the turn 4 half of pit road. Heather, let's start with you.
And first one in on my end is going to be Lane Riggs from that second running position. He told his team, we have to make an adjustment here. I'm just too tight. And his crew chief, Dylan Capello, said, I'd like to see you roll the center better on the top. So they're going to go half up on the track bar there for the 34. Also in is the 7 of Corey Day in that 4th position. He was really happy with the changes last time and happy with that race truck. So no changes for him. And then Kyle Busch also trying to break into the top 20 right now. No lateral grip to lean on was his complaint, Wendy Venturini.
Rajah Caruth said he's too free to hustle throughout the entire run. His splitter is also dragging on both ends of the racetrack. It's 4 tires. You saw him just pull away. Also on pit road, our stage winner, Corey Heim, he's been a little bit too tight in, and he feels disconnected, especially on that initial throttle. They made an adjustment for Corey Heim as well.
Rajah Caruth, the first off of pit road, then Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger, and Corey Day. They're the top four. We'll give you a full field rundown when we return to Nashville Superspeedway.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
Your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
When we come back, we'll be taking the green for the final stage here of the Rackley Roofing 200 from Nashville Superspeedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just the pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. It's for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We're back at Nashville Superspeedway. In moments, we're going to start Stage 3, the final stage of the Rackley Roofing 200. As far as points earned in the first two stages, Lane Riggs and Corey Heim have earned 19 points so far. Rajah Caruth, 16, 12 for Corey Day, 12 for Caden Honeycutt as well. Daniel Hemrick has 10 points, 8 for Grant Enfinger. Bailey Curry, really solid in the first two stages. He's picked up 6 points. Tyler Ankrum, 4, and Jake Garcia has 2.
Mark, you mentioned that Corey Heim had led now over 800 laps during that Stage 2 run on the season here in 2025. He becomes the first driver to lead over 800 laps the first 12 races of a Craftsman Truck Series season. Now let's also put this in perspective. The lap leader in the NASCAR Cup Series is Kyle Larson. After 13 races, he's led 851. And I think the perspective on that is the Cup Series typically runs about twice as far per race as the Craftsman Truck Series.
Again, these are going to be historic numbers at the end of the year for Corey Heim. And again, he comes into this race after 4 wins with a legit shot at getting to at least the 9 that would tie Greg Biffle for most wins in a single season. I believe that's the big carrot they'll be chasing, along, of course, with the championship.
That would be a big deal. Right now, before we get to the final stage restart, Rajah Caruth leads Corey Heim. Grant Enfinger now runs in 3rd. 4th is Corey Day. 5th, Caden Honeycutt. Daniel Hemrick is 6th. Bailey Curry 7th. Lane Riggs has dropped down to 8th. 9th is Ty Majeski. Gio Ruggiero is 10th.
Stuart Friesen 11th. 12th, Jake Garcia. Dawson Sutton 13th. 14th is is going to be Andres Perez, Kyle Busch 15th, 16th, Ben Rhodes, Connor Mozak 17th, 18th, Tyler Ankrum, Chandler Smith 19th, 20th is going to be Matt Mills. The rest of the trucks on the lead lap. Tanner Gray 21st, 22nd, Jack Wood, Luke Fenhouse 23rd, 24th, William Sawalich, Matt Crafton in 25th. The first truck one lap down is going to be Spencer Boyd in 26th.
Pace car has hit pit road, and they are headed toward the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Rajah Caruth has the preferred starting spot. He is on the inside of Corey Heim. Rajah Caruth brings the green flag back out. Corey Heim getting a big push from Caruth's teammate Corey Day as they head into one.
Yeah, that looked a little odd, but nevertheless, he's trying to fight for position as well. Rajah Caruth, though, is going to pull the train down the backstretch here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Corey Heim about 2 trucks back, and another 2 or 3 back to Corey Day as they work their way into turn number 3 and they work their way off of turn number 4. Rajah Caruth has the lead.
For the third time tonight, Rajah Caruth is out front. Will it be the final time? Corey Heim trying to close in as they pull away just a bit from third place Corey Day, who's outfought Grant Enfinger, now make that Daniel Hemrick for 4th place.
And everybody goes, where's Lane Riggs? Well, he's battling hard right now, trying to get that 5th spot away. Caden Honeycutt is right back there, and you mentioned Bailey Curry and how well he's running. Grant Enfinger's in the middle of this one. Once again, Honeycutt with the position in number 5, in the 5th position now in turns 3 and 4.
Caden Honeycutt took that 5th position. Lane Riggs now running in 6th. Then it's Grant Enfinger. Bailey Curry now right on the tailgate of Grant Enfinger. That 44 Nice truck trying to get on the move into 1.
Tom Majeski also a part of that as we watch Lane Riggs try to go to work on Honeycutt. Can't make anything happen. Bailey Curry had a good run off of turn number 2. Looked like he might be able to have something for Enfinger. Meanwhile, the margin is the same, about 6 truck lengths first and second.
Lane Riggs getting a little bit of a heat right now from Grant Enfinger. He looks inside as they exit turn number 4. Can't make the move. Now Riggs is all over the back deck of the Caden Honeycutt truck in turn 1.
Battle for third, too. We look a little further up there, and once again, we're talking about Daniel Hemrick going to work on Corey Day right behind him. Honeycutt is holding off Hemrick. They work their way down into turn at number 3 here, watching Daniel Hemrick going to make the move on Corey Day. Looks like he might make it happen, guys.
Boy, he's going to have to slide up in front of Corey Day. Daniel Hemrick now takes away that 3rd spot and now move Corey Day back to 4th, and 5th is Caden Honeycutt. Lane Riggs will chase him down into 1.
Riggs is right there, looking to the outside now momentarily, and pulls it back in line, bottom of the racetrack. Can't seem to find a way to make a move as they go down the backstretch. Riggs call it about 3 truck lengths off of Caden Honeycutt. Meanwhile, up front, Corey Heim still trying to catch the leader.
Rajah Caruth and Corey Heim have broken away from now Daniel Hemrick, who's the new 3rd place truck, and just behind him Corey Day. Then a good battle. It's Caden Honeycutt trying to hold off Lane Riggs for 5th.
And right behind them, Grant Enfinger trying his best to get up there and get in the middle of that one. They run nose to tail now off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, Riggs once again gets right in the mirror of Caden Honeycutt, trying to figure out if maybe he can make a move into turn number 3. Going to look to the outside in 3 and 4.
This is a battle for 5th, but up in front of them, we might even have a battle for 3rd. Daniel Hemrick had gotten around Corey Day, but he's not driven away. But now behind him, here comes Lane Riggs once again, right on the tailgate of Caden Honeycutt. They're going to go to 1. Can Riggs make a move?
Maybe one of the best battles on the racetrack. Now here goes Riggs to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to wedge his way underneath and pick up this spot. Looks like he's going to get it done. Honeycutt battles back. They stay side by side with each other into turn number 3 up in front of Corey Day.
So it looks like it will be Riggs moving up another spot. Also, Dawson Sutton has just lost 10th to Chandler Smith. Smith on the comeback trail after having problems on pit road, also getting caught up in another tangle on the racetrack. He's beginning to move forward.
Yeah, Chandler Smith now will go out into turn number 1 and start trying to run down Ty Majeski. Majeski is also out there tonight in the top 10, now trying to catch Bailey Curry. Meanwhile, no change up front as we watch the battle for 5th. Once again, Lane Lane Riggs under attack by Caden Honeycutt.
Caden Honeycutt wants to take away that fifth spot back. Lane Riggs is going to hang on to it. Out front, Rajah Caruth will lead his 22nd lap. We've got 39 to go here in the Rackley Roofing 200 as the leaders are back in one.
Watching Grant Enfinger now as he tries to work his way down into turn number 1 and get underneath Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt's got a mirror full drivers left of Grant Enfinger. Enfinger trying to make that pass stick. Can't make it work. Has to fall back in line. Meanwhile, that battle for the 4th spot. Riggs trying to get up there and battle for it. Can't quite get it done off of 4.
Lost a little bit of ground at the exit. Enfinger now putting the pressure back on Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt running in the 6th position. Right behind them and beginning to gain ground on those two is Bailey Curry.
Now, Bailey Curry, as we've already said, is having a great night tonight. Here goes Honeycutt off of turn number 2. Riggs trying to hold right with him. Up front in front of them, though, here's Riggs trying to make a move into turn number 3 as he worked down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get it from Corey Day this time by.
Lane Riggs takes away the 4th spot now with 37 laps to go. Rajah Caruth leads Corey Heim, Daniel Hemrick, Lane Riggs, and Corey Day here at Nashville.
Welcome to more. More action. More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends, more family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to Pocono, June 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at PoconoRaceway.com.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing.
And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Rajah Caruth continues to lead Corey Heim 0.8 of a second, the gap between 1 and 2. The big question is, with 35 to go, do we take it to the checkered flag, or will we have another trip through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone? The Restart Zone brought to you by Echo Park Automotive, every car happy owner. From Nashville Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered. NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Kyle Rickey. Join Chris Wilner and I each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We also talk to rising stars from your favorite short track. That's NASCAR Coast to Coast. Watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or your favorite podcast platform.
Welcome back to the Rackley Roofing 200, where we have 32 laps to go. Currently listening in on the conversation between the 19 of Daniel Hemrick and his team. He just told his team, thank you so much for that tire balance. He's really happy with the adjustments they made on that last pit stop. Prior to the pit stop, he was too loose to be able to handle that truck. Now, he did just get passed by Lane Riggs, and the team told him, don't worry about that, just stay with him, because the truck is going to continue to come to you, and Lane Riggs is the fastest truck, so just follow his line.
So Lane Riggs moved into third with 34 laps to go. The gap was 3 seconds to the leader, Rajah Caruth, and in 3 laps, the gap is still 2.8. So Riggs is gaining ground, but it's just inches at a time as Rajah Caruth, his truck definitely better than it was in stage 1 and 2.
That's right. As we talked about at the end of stage 2, We talked about the beginning of Stage 2 where that big moment as the caution came out for Gentleman Jack Wood spinning in turns 3 and 4, and Raja almost lost the lead. This restart, much better for that 71 truck. Kevin Bono Mannion, very, very experienced on top of the pit box for Raja. New pairing for Raj this year. 71 truck looks the same from the outside. That HendrickCars.com truck looks the same, but the crew behind the scenes is different than Chad Walters he had for the previous couple of years. Kevin Bono Mannion, good at making adjustments on that truck. Success does seem to follow him. Raj giving feedback, I'm sure. In Stage 2, they made a pit stop. Remember, came in third, came out the leader. Clean air, better handling truck, maintaining a 1 second lead.
And again, so that went from 0.8 up to 1 second, 2.8 to 2.9, back to Scott Riggs. So Raja now starting to try to inch away from those two.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Raja, a couple laps ago, just moved up to second in terms of laps led in this race. He's led 32. As he comes across the start-finish line, he's about to lead his 33rd lap. Corey Heim has led 58 in this race here. Now, we still have 28 laps to go here in the Rackley Roofing 200. Let's go back down to pit road and Wendy Venturini.
Ross Chastain, you were just talking about the feedback from Raja to his crew chief, Kevin Bono Mannion. When they came down pit road, he was complaining about it being too free to hustle throughout the whole entire run. So that's where Kevin Bono Mannion made those adjustments. Also, the splitter was dragging. That last run before that on both ends of the racetrack, they thought that the small heat cycle in the tires would fix it for Raja. It did not. So Kevin Mannion had to make some adjustments for that splitter that was hitting on both ends as well.
So again, Raja Caruth, 9.940, just under 1 second. The gap back to Corey Heim. 2.5 back to Lane Riggs. So Riggs has chopped off about a half a second the last couple of laps. So let's give you a full field rundown. Raja Caruth is your leader with 27 laps to go. Corey Heim is second. Third is Lane Riggs. Fourth, Daniel Hemrick. Corey Day is fifth. Sixth, Caden Honeycutt. Brent Enfinger 7th. 8th is Bailey Curry. Ty Majeski 9th. 10th, Chandler Smith.
Dawson Sutton now just outside of the top 10. He runs 11th in the Rackley Roofing truck. Gio Ruggiero is in 12th. 13th is Jake Garcia. Kyle Busch has moved up to 14th. Stuart Friesen is 15th. 16th, Ben Rhodes. Tyler Ankrum is 17th. Tanner Gray drops down to 18th. Luke Fenhouse running in 19th. And 20th, Andre Perez de Lara.
So Jack Wood is 21st. 22nd, Matt Mills. 23rd, Connor Mozak. Matt Crafton, 24th. William Sawalich, 25th, the last truck on the lead lap. Spencer Boyd, -1 in 26th. Clayton Green, -1 in 27th. Nathan Bird, -2 in 28th. Tyler Tomasi, 29th, also -2 laps. Tony Brenninger is also 2 laps down. She's in the 30th position. Then -5 in 31st, Akinori Ogato. And then the only truck out of the race tonight, Frankie Muniz. He went out very, very early in this race. As a matter of fact, lap number 2. And that is the full field rundown in the Rackley Roofing 200, now with 24 to go.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
We have 22 laps to go on the Rackley Roofing 200 here at Nashville Superspeedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to mrn.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Welcome back to Nashville Super Speedway. Rajah Caruth now with a 0.7 of a second advantage over Corey Heim, but Pat Patterson lap traffic could come into play here.
Well, I think there's no doubt about that, as Caruth now will run up on the back of Matt Crafton into turn number 3. Corey Heim also is having to deal with the same problem with a much slower trucks. Here's Heim once again, here's Rajah Caruth off of turn number 4.
And trying to make up ground, of course, is Lane Riggs in the third spot. A 3-second gap has been cut to 2. That's the good news. The bad news, Pat Patterson, he's got a gaggle of slower trucks up ahead.
Yeah, he's going to have to work really hard right now as he gets around the Nathan Bird truck. He's going to have to deal with Matt Crafton up in front. Corey Heim right now, he also got slowed down quite a bit. Rajah Caruth is your leader into turn 3, working his way around. Once again, another slower truck on the bottom.
Clayton Green moves out of the way. He gives Rajah Caruth the middle lane. Caruth is going to be able to get around him at the start-finish line. Corey Heim now 0.6 of a second behind Rajah Caruth, and we'll see that moves now to 0.7 of a second as we have 17 to go and they're in 2.
Yeah, Caruth is doing a good job right now of dealing with the lap traffic, and right now he's got a little bit of a reprieve. It's going to be a long way before he catches up to William Swalich up there in the number 1 truck. He's just entering turns 3 and 4 rather. Here's the leader once again, calling about 15 trucks from first to second off 4.
So Caruth for the time being has clear racetrack. So does Corey Heim, only 1 lap truck separating him from third place running Lane Riggs. Riggs has cut the gap down to 1.7 seconds.
Rajah Caruth has just got to look out that windshield and stay off of that mirror and drive as fast and as hard as he can now. He said before the race, he said, we're only 1 good solid night away from a win. He's on it tonight. We'll see if he can pull it off. They're midway through turns 3 and 4.
Down to 15 to go. Rajah Caruth enjoys an 0.8 of a second advantage. And Ross Chastain, you're watching this race here tonight. Tomorrow you have 2 race cars to run with both practice and qualifying for Xfinity, then Cup, and then tomorrow's Xfinity Tennessee Lottery 250. You learning anything here tonight?
Well, like I said at the top of the show, that new concrete that I see visually down at just past the center of 3 and 4, I want to go get my boots on the ground and feel that and see it. And then I do see trucks moving up in traffic. The resin is working to allow trucks to move around as the leaders work off turn 4. That 11 truck, though, creeping in, guys. 3/4 of a second last time by as we cross the start-finish line. This time, Corey Heim has cut the gap to the same distance. They're maintaining right now with 14 to go. It looked visually like he was gaining. Rajah had a good turn 4.
I want to give a little bit of a shout-out Ty Majeski. He was 32nd at Charlotte, 3rd finish outside the top 30 the last 6 races. He definitely needed a rebound race. It looks like he may get it tonight.
And, of course, how it goes. You crash at Charlotte with a fast truck. The metric sets the starting lineup tonight, so he has to start in the back. He does work his way forward. Now, right now, inside the top 10 with Dawson Sutton, hometown hero, right on his tailgate in 11th.
Ross, one thing you observed is truly happening now. Now it's only a 0.5 second advantage for Rajah Caruth. Pat Williams-Sawalich is still a little ways away from Caruth before he may get put a lap down, but Corey Heim is closing in fast.
Well, and he's going to have to close in fast because Lane Riggs is also closing that gap down, trying to get up here and fight for that second spot. Heim has got to pretty much pull the trigger right now and get up here and deal with Rajah Caruth. Caruth is a long way, though, from William Sawalich.
He has cut the gap from 0.7 to 0.4 of a second. There's only 12 laps to go in this race. Rajah Caruth out of turn number 2. Corey Heim is gaining ground on him. Lane Riggs is gaining on Heim.
Yeah, watching Lane Riggs, and again, the distance between second and third is pretty real at this point and pretty big. But Rajah Caruth now looked like he got a little bit out of shape on turns 3 and 4.
Boy, he drifted way high. That's now allowed the gap to be truck lengths. 3 truck lengths off the tailgate of Rajah Caruth. Corey Heim is coming on fast.
And all Lane Riggs wants is for those two to at least race hard for this lead so he can get up there and get in the middle of it. Here's Rajah Caruth off of turn number 2 now. Sawalich is right in front of him, and he's not going to go quietly into this. Corey Heim closes it down to about 3 truck lengths midway through 3 and 4.
Sawalich 24th, the last truck on the lead lap. Here's Rajah Caruth leading that trio out of turn number 4. 10 laps to go in the Rackley Roofing 200 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Caruth trying to hold on.
And Sawalich does the gentlemanly thing, moves up and gives the leader room to race underneath him. Corey Heim's now also going to get under him. Sawalich now will have Lane Riggs also making the move. We're going to have 3 trucks here in very close proximity in the middle of 3 and 4 now, racing for the lead here at Nashville.
All 3 of those trucks separated by about 4 truck lengths each. Here comes Rajah Caruth. That's going to bring us to 9 to go. Then you have Corey Heim. Now Lane Riggs running in third. A 3-truck battle as they head back to 1.
Rajah Caruth now will look at the bumper of Spencer Boyd, who is up in front of him and is much slower than he is. We'll see what Spencer does to give those leaders some racing room as they work their way midway down the backstretch. Call it about 4 truck separation between first, second, and third. Here's the leader in middle to turns 3 and 4.
He's in the middle groove. On the bottom, Corey Heim trying to gain ground as they come back down across the start-finish line. Only 8 laps to go. Heim again closing in. Riggs is catching the lead, too.
Rajah Caruth doing everything he can into turn 1. Spencer Boyd is the next truck that he's got to get around. Talking about that battle for second. It's shaping up. Lane Riggs now beginning to close down on Corey Heim. Right, so Rajah Caruth's got to make an aggressive move here into turn 3 to quickly dispose of Spencer Boyd.
Rajah Caruth clears Spencer Boyd, as Pat said, nice and easy. Corey Heim's going to try and follow through. He's not able to clear Boyd as they come off of turn number 4. Drives to him, now to the outside of Akinora Ogata. Rajah Caruth puts another truck a lap down with clear track in front of him.
Lane Riggs is really closing down on Corey Heim. He's going to have to drive both in the windshield and the mirror here as the laps wind down at the Nashville Superspeedway. Plenty of room for the leader. It's going to be a horsepower battle here between first and second as they get down into turn number 3 and 4.
As they come out of turn 4, clear racetrack up ahead for the lead 3 trucks. As they come down to the line, Rajah Caruth with 6 to go as your leader, but Corey Heim is there as they move to turn number 1.
Corey Heim has a faster truck, and he's going to exercise it right now. Here's the battle for the lead. Riggs is hoping they stay together for a little while. Rajah Caruth able to get a much better exit on turn 2. That opens the door for Riggs. Riggs now goes to the bumper of Corey Heim. He wants second, tries to drive under him in 3 and 4.
Corey Heim had to back out. That almost opened the door for Riggs. Heim threw a big block, but now they are still right there with Rajah Caruth. His truck is starting to slow compared to the other ones, and here comes Corey Heim now to the outside of Rajah.
Corey Heim had him in the middle of 1 and 2 just a moment ago. This time he'll go right behind him off of turn number 2. First, second, and third separated by a half a truck length. Rajah Caruth trying to move around on the racetrack to try to hold that position as he enters turn number 3.
Lane Riggs looks inside of Corey Heim. That's the fight for second. Just 2 truck lengths off the back deck of Rajah Caruth. Caruth now wiggles his way, snakes his way down the front stretch. He continues to lead. The battle for second is door to door.
Corey Heim with an aggressive move arrow move on Riggs, trying to hold him back right now, and it works a little bit off of turn number 2. He holds that position. Riggs tries to close down on that second spot. Here comes Heim, though. He's looking at the bumper of Rajah Caruth midway through 3 and 4.
It'll be 3 to go this time by as Chevy leads a Toyota and a Ford. Rajah Caruth out front right now, right on his tailgate with just 1 truck length. Here comes Corey Heim and Lane Riggs as they head back into 1.
Rajah Caruth snaked his way down the front stretch there to try to get a little bit of an aero advantage, and it worked. worked for him. Corey Heim had to stay right in his tire tracks. Couldn't do anything with him. Here's Lane Riggs, a truck length and a half back on the second spot. Once again, Raja making some aggressive moves down the backstretch to try to hold back, and it's actually working. He's pulling away from second.
As he works out of turn number 4, 2 laps to go. As again, he snakes his way down the front stretch while Lane Riggs drives to the inside of Corey Heim. They're side by side as they work back to 1.
This battle for second is tough, man. They were side by side here as they enter turn number 2. Riggs versus Corey Heim. Up front, Rajah Caruth with a good 7-8 truck lead now, midway down the backstretch here at the Nashville Super Speedway. He drives that lead truck into turn number 3.
Corey Heim is going to try and catch Rajah Caruth. Rajah Caruth will see the white flag, this time coming off of turn number 4. The battle still goes on for second.
This is the biggest night for Rajah Caruth. He talked about it earlier. He needed one good solid night. Now he needs just one good solid lap. The battle for second rages on. Riggs trying to make a move on Corey Heim. Heim down the backstretch. A truck and a half separates second and third. The battle for the lead is going to go into turn number 3. Here's Rajah Caruth, and here comes Corey Heim.
Corey Heim makes a big run at him at the exit of turn 4, but Rajah Caruth is going to hold on. It's about time somebody beat Corey Heim. That man is Rajah Caruth. He wins for the first time in 2025, the first time at Nashville Superspeedway, and for the second time in his career.
From behind the cut line, Rajah Caruth will go to victory lane. He will be in NASCAR's playoffs for the Craftsman Truck Series, beating Corey Heim, Lane Riggs. 4th place, Daniel Hemrick. Corey Day comes home in 5th. Caden Honeycutt in 6th. 7th is Chandler Smith. Ty Majeski 8th. 9th is Bailey Curry. And Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 10.
Now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, the home of the tough trucks of NASCAR. So Rajah Caruth now is lighting him up with a big burnout on the front stretch. A big block in the late going to Corey Heim in turn number 2. He gave Corey Heim one choice. You're going to eat the wall or you're going to run second. And Corey Heim fell back and could not come back to retake the lead. We'll have more from Nashville in just a minute.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same. All right, the goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500. I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Welcome back to Nashville Superspeedway. Rajah Caruth has parked his Chevy Silverado at the start-finish line. He's about to take the checkered flag. We'll talk with him in victory lane, but right now let's hear from more of our top finishers. Let's start with Heather DeBow.
And Lane Riggs brings it home third tonight. You won a stage, led some laps. A heck of a battle there at the end between you and the 11 as you guys tried to chase down Rajah. What were you thinking in those moments, and what more did you need to get around those guys?
We needed some clean air. We just gave it all the way on pit road today. You know, we come in leading both times and just gave up spots both times. And it's just, you know, it's so line dominant here that you have to have the track position and the clean air to make it happen. But probably one of the best trucks I've ever sat in today. It's a shame that we didn't win the thing. We should have.
Solid run here for Lane Riggs. Wendy Venturini?
Daniel Hemrick comes home fourth today. A smile on your face. What more did you need out of your truck tonight, Daniel?
Yeah, a better driver the first 2/3 of the race. My gosh, I just did a horrendous job on the first every restart up until the last one. But Picker got us some spots at the end of stage 2. It had a really, really balanced and pretty good Gates Hydraulic Chevrolet Silverado, just not ever enough to go battle those top 3. I was just 4th best there at last run. So you never know. I think they're going to mix it up and maybe have a shot. And I hurt the front tires too much trying to get to them. But, yeah, just need a little bit. But proud of the effort, proud of 19 guys. And cool to see Chevrolet getting victory lane. Raj works really hard. He's a good kid, so it's good to see him win.
All right, that's the thoughts of Daniel Hemrick coming home 4th here at Nashville Super Speedway. Heather DeBow.
And a top 5 here for Corey Day in his first start at Nashville. That's your first top 5 in the Truck Series. How were you to evaluate this day, and what all did you learn out there on track?
Yeah, good day. Never been so happy to run 5th in my life. Just feels really good to finally put one of these together. I've struggled, really hard at putting a whole race together. His races are so much longer than what I'm used to, and I feel like, the speed's been there multiple times, just, I haven't put it all together. So it feels really, really good to finally do that. These 7 guys deserve it. They bring me a fast truck a lot, and, I've messed up a lot. So it feels really, really good to get a top 5.
Nice run, and the smile on Corey's face right now says it all.
So we heard from Lane Riggs. He's disappointed, but 3rd straight top 5. That team is certainly bringing him very fast trucks week in, week out now.
Yeah, no question about that. And for Rajah Caruth, he's about to make his way to victory lane after getting the checkered flag and doing all of that. We'll hear from him momentarily. But, Ross, we talk about all the races Corey Heim has won. There have been a handful of races that he didn't win. But I almost feel like this might be the first time someone straight up beat Corey Heim this year.
That's right. What Rajah just did was impressive. At the end of the run, that 71 truck was not as fast as the 11, which was also not as fast as the 38. So it put together the perfect scenario for the end of this race. Now, what Rajah did great was use the air. Like Lane mentioned, you have to use the air. You have to have the clean air to go the fastest. Plus, when Raj won, his burnout started at the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone, and he started sliding there all the way down to about halfway down to turn 1, it seemed like, at a high rate of speed. So super happy for Raj. You heard Daniel Hemrick also mention how hard Raj works. I work out with him. We run together. We train together. He has continued to put into the work. And go back 2 years, he had a dominant truck here at Nashville, and it broke on him as he took the lead.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Let's go down to pit road with Heather DeBow.
And here now with Corey Heim, who brings it home P2 tonight. I just heard you say, I really wish I would have been able to get that guitar, but you gave it everything you had there at the end. Kind of take us through that battle and the moves that Rajah was making that was defending against you. What more could you have done?
Yeah, we were certainly a lot better on the longer runs tonight, so I knew that was going to be kind of my opportunity coming down to the wire there. Just such a short stage and really kind of a straightforward strategy play on all parts there, so once you lose the lead, it's really tough to get it back until you hit some lap traffic. So congrats to Rajah, though. He did an awesome job being able to fend us off. Felt like we definitely had the best truck there at the end, but he made all the right moves to defend from the lead there. So that was a lot of fun. Glad we could put on a good show for the fans there, and huge thank you to Truck on Garage, Toyota, and Safe Flight.
You've had a very dominant season so far. You guys have had a good race, pretty much every race out. What are you looking forward to with the rest of this regular season as we head into playoffs?
Yeah, I got some good tracks coming up. I mean, I think for the most part we've had speed everywhere, so being able to really just race in general is exciting for me, but there's definitely some tracks that we've been better at than others. So definitely looking forward to that, and it's always a pleasure to race for these 11 guys. They've been really lights out as far as the pace in the truck. Definitely need to polish a couple things up on my end to keep that lead at the end there and be able to kind of do what Rajah's in and just kind of defending from there. So all in all, good effort though, good points today. Going to move forward with a smile on our faces.
Thanks, Corey.
Corey Heim, the consummate pro. No complaints about what Rajah Caruth did at the end of that race. He put a block on where really it looked like Corey had the run on the outside, and Rajah went to block it, couldn't quite get there, so he said, all right, now the squeeze play is on. And basically Corey Heim, by not saying anything about it, if I was in the lead, same circumstance, I'd have done the same thing.
That's right. These trucks are all about the air. The mirror in Rajah's truck, by the way, I want to take a trip over to Spire Motorsports this week ahead of Michigan because I got to figure out what he's got in that thing because he did a masterful job of moving his truck to place it ahead of the 11, which held him up and let the 34 start racing him and gave the 71 the gap he needed in those final laps.
And a little bit of old school from back in the days of Daytona when you would see the leaders weaving down, snaking their way down the back straightaway and the front stretch because that every little bit helps, right? He's trying to break the draft any way he could, and so he spent a lot of time. This track is 1.3 miles, but I gotta believe he made it like 1.4 a couple of times in the late stages.
Rajah